Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. Now we know the differences, now we know how Zangief has performed since the patch. And this is important because the Zangief community has been kind of struggling with the changes to the Hurtbox, especially. Some people argue that is game changing, others that is not that terrible, you can still play the character. CEO 2025. And here you'll see that Riddle Order Jr. got to 13th place. He's the highest Zangief player in that tournament. And the top 8 was fantastic, by the way. A lot of really good players over here. Two very notorious examples of really good players. Newcom players are Crime and obviously not Pedro, reaching top 8. Crime did it pretty consistently, by the way. Now let's talk about the Topanga League. The league that last year Kobayan won. Well, this time in the blue division, you'll see that Junior actually got a plus 12, dominating everybody over here. And then he moved obviously to the next division, that is the white division. And here you have Kobayan and Junior. Junior, funny enough, this is kind of, well, poetic, I guess. He got minus 12 and Kobayan minus 2. This minus 2 is not that terrible. Even though he looks like he got completely eliminated at 7th place, he was really close from the plus 2. Sadly, he got beaten in really important matches and that justifies the 7th place. Both Zangief players out of the tournament. And Akutagawa, a Manon player, actually qualified for the tiebreaker with Hibiki, but Hibiki basically took it very consistently 7-2. That is mostly offline, of course, but we have the World Warrior tournaments. And here things become a little bit all over the place. We have the South America West, Forever Carlon, a Zangief player from Venezuela, got 3rd place, losing to Matkins Darlan. And essentially, Darlan qualified obviously for the grand finals, being eliminated by Nero the Boxer, one of the qualifiers of the first Street Fighter 6 Capcom Cup. Remember the group of death? Nero the Boxer was there and he did pretty well. Then we have the UK Ireland with a very dominant performance by Mother Marisa Infectious. He's back, the man with the silk voice and a lot of knowledge. He is back and he's playing fantastic. I suggest you to go and watch the grand finals of this tournament because Infectious was just on fire. Quiggy reaching top 8, losing to Joker Jokus, and then essentially losing 3-0 very consistently, I have to say, against Lexus Kyle. In other places, we have Germany. Random took the W with Manon, and Calibro reached top 16, being eliminated by Railgun, who eventually got to top 8. We have one of the US tournaments, US Canada West. And here Danny Pham reached top 8, losing to Enzo the Hokage 3-1. Enzo ended up losing 3-0 to Samurai, lost to Sack Boss at the end with Christie winning with Ken, the worst Shoto in the game. Zangief Bolado won the Brazilian World Warriors 3-2 to Not Pedro, the same Not Pedro that reached top 8 in CEO 2025. So fantastic performance. Zangief Bolado took the W over here. The results are all over the place, pretty similarly to the last season where Zangief was objectively better. Yeah, Zangief players are still doing okay, or at least reaching higher places, top 16, top 8. Why we don't have that many Zangief players in top 3 or winning tournaments like Zangief Bolado? And there's a lot of things we can discuss about this. The first thing we have to understand is that Zangief has some really bad matches. And I'm not talking about Akuma, Ryu, matches that are complicated, but I wouldn't call them awful. We need to talk about Ed, JP, Lily, or Dalsim. Those 4 characters completely counter Zangief. And of all those 4, I would say Dalsim is the easiest one. You don't have to be necessarily a great Dalsim player to counter Zangief. So if a Zangief player reaches top 16, very likely he will have to fight either Ed or JP. Sometimes Dalsim, very rarely Lily. That is the first roadblock. The second thing is how much experience the region has against Zangief. Zangief Bolado is probably the only Zangief player that really plays at the highest level in Brazil. Therefore, if you want to play against the best Zangief player over there, you have to go to Zangief Bolado. You'll see that Forever Carlon reached this point, and they do have more Zangief players, but I would say Forever Carlon is probably the most consistent one in terms of tournaments. Other regions with a really notorious amount of Zangief players, like my region, South America East. No Zangief player reaches top 16 because we have so many Zangief players, including your own. Wink wink. Europe has a lot of Zangief players, and you see that Quiggy reached this point. Joker started with Kami, then switched to Ed, then back to Kami, and he lost that match. I wouldn't say that's a free match for Zangief, but it's not terrible. I wouldn't say also that Guile is a terrible matchup for Zangief, at least in this game, but the experience that Lex has against Zangief is notorious. This is Germany. Calibro couldn't reach the top 16. And obviously people from Germany play against Quiggy, Veggie, who also didn't reach top 8. But besides experience, we also have to consider how Zangief plays. Zangief has been playing the same since season 1 till this one. while other characters like Ryu, Dalsim, DJ even, Bison have got changes in certain areas that basically change either the neutral, the combo potential, the pressure on block. In fact, you could say that a little bit changed in the worst sense because we no longer have an up-close headbutt regular throw. That means you always have to go for SPD or a frame trap into health stab. We lost a tool, a very important one. And those are only a few things that could be affecting this situation. The next tournament will be the Blink Respawn, and we have less Zangief players for that tournament. I don't even know if Zangief Bolao will go. He probably needs more consistent combos because that is one of the reasons why a lot of Zangief players lose. It's either meter management or situations where they don't have any opportunities to go for a combo. Or you have no wake up, which is also super common. You have super low 1 and you got to burnout and there's nothing you can do. If you're playing against Ryu, you're gonna be in burnout. I'm gonna be slightly optimistic because I feel they know they need to do more for this game. They are a little bit behind in terms of how meta changes in fighting games or other games. Hope something happens at Blink Respawn. I want to provide more news about Zangief, something that is fantastic, like, yeah, another Zangief player, a new Zangief player reached top 8. And of course, after Blink Respawn, I think 2 weeks in, we have Evo. And that will be probably the biggest roadblock for Zangief. They're not gonna play it on the new patch because the patch releases after Evo. I think it's August 5th. Well, new patch, new character, but it might come with a few changes. So far, Zangief player is doing good. He requires buffs. Of course, he requires buffs. Zangief players are doing it, still keeping the dream alive. As always, take care of yourselves. If you really like this video, please subscribe. Go to the Siberia Lab on Twitch. I'm playing Zangief, and so far the biggest suggestion from the Discord has been Ed. I don't know about that. What do you think? Should I play Ed? Keep playing grapplers, hydrate, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.